Hello everyone and welcome back guys to week 2 of the LCR Indycar series here, back with season 3. Now today we head back to the Circuit of the Americas, the first track that we've actually raced at in previous years in this season there. But you can actually hear in the background, I made a mistake, I actually left party chat on for this one. But yeah, this race though, as you can probably already tell by the title, is quite an insane one. Yeah, obviously don't skip to the end. It really is just a race that really does build up to the ending here. So yeah, if you guys obviously do go on to enjoy, make sure you get yourself subscribed as well. But yeah, it's definitely one of those races that I would recommend just watching all the way through, because yeah, it really does pay off right at the very end. Now heading into COTA then, ready for the start. Then we've got Amazement alongside us for the second week in a row. It's green flag racing here from the Circuit of the Americas there, and we do get off to a nice clean getaway there. Joe thinks about having a look up the inside through the first corner, does show his nose, but we get on the power a lot earlier on the exit there, and we do hold on to the lead of the race there off the start. And yeah, like I was saying though, this race was completely dictated by strategy. Now last season around here, the one stop was just about possible. The race distance had been up from 60 to 80 miles here, ready for season 3, and that meant that for me, a one stop was going to be impossible. There was just no way I was going to be able to get the tyres to last 13 laps in this race there. So I'd already decided I was going to be on a two-stop strategy here today. Now the Amazement, Joe, was going to try and gamble the one-stop, so he was going to have to drive a lot slower over the course of his stints there. We estimated it was going to be about 1.5 to 1.8 seconds a lap slower than myself. I was going to have to try and make up about a 39-second advantage over the course of the Grand Prix. So we'd done the maths, and if everything all went smoothly for the pair of us, neither of us got screwed over by lapped cars, anything like that, it was going to shape up to a mega close finish in this race. We worked it out roughly in a couple of sort of just quick maths sort of things we'd done. There was going to be less than a second separating us at the flag, but obviously that did rely, like I said, on both of us having clean races. I pretty much was going to have to do a 24-lap qualifying session. Every lap was going to have to be maximum attack. Coming to the end of the first few laps there, we were just already settling down into a good rhythm here. 142.3s early on in this race here, and yeah, Joe was aiming for sub 44s at best there. So yeah, it was going to be incredibly close if we both were able to keep it clean and get our alternate strategies working right the way to the checkered flag there. And yeah, honestly, in the early stages of this one, throughout a lot of this race, I wasn't really feeling confident there. I honestly thought Joe had pulled off a bit of a master plan here. I just could not see a way that we were going to A, be able to make the one-stop work, and B, because we couldn't make the one-stop work, there was going to be no chance at all that we could try and close down the gap of a pit stop round here. As you can see, end of lap 9, we had built up a good 2,000 feet advantage over Joe here in the early laps of this race. But heading in for our first of 2 pit stops then, yeah, very much instantly confirming that we were on the two-stop strategy. There was no way we were going to be able to get the tyres right the way to the checkered flag there. But you can see heading out of the pit lane then, we went in with about a 2,000-foot advantage. Excellent. Obviously, different parts of the track give you different feet counters there, but we lost about 6,500 feet over the course of the pit stop window there, about 6,500, 7,000 feet in that first stint there. And now, effectively, we've got 15 laps. We've both got one stop to make between now and the end of the Grand Prix there. But yeah, we now had 15 laps to try and close up this entire margin to Joe over the course of this race. And obviously, he's no slouch. He got pole position in his very first attempt here in the LCR IndyCar series, if you remember back season 2 at the Nürburgring there. And yeah, certainly a quick guy. He's put a lot of practice in ready for this season. He did put a lot of practice in as well to try and see if this strategy could work there. And you can see the end of lap 13, he had made the more difficult stint work in the end. He had lost a fair chunk of time through towards the end of the stint there, but he survived the more difficult stint for himself, and you can see there as we re-inherit the lead of the race there. This could be incredibly close as we head back out of the pit lane there. Like I said, we lose about 7,000 feet in the pit stops there, and we were about 2,000 in front, I think, before Joe's first pit stop, and by the time he comes back out of the pits, it's gonna be over 3,500, 4,000 feet, if I was not mistaken there. So it was looking close. It looks like at this stage, Joe did have a couple of seconds in his pocket there over ourselves. So, you know, there was only one thing we could do. And that was get our head down and focus even more on trying to set some good laps here. Because he's setting a clean 42.5 at the end of lap 15 there. We needed a good clean lap as well. Obviously, try and pick up the bonus points this time around there. You can see lap 16 there, trying to get around Rydog at the end of that lap there. And yeah, luckily just showing him the nose in towards the corner there meant that he bailed out on the exit there. But yeah, everything had to be perfect between now and the end of the race there. And the end of lap 17, we'd come back in for our second pit stop here. Now, I had tried to plan this quite strategically in a bid to try and come out ahead of Apex and Connor here. You can see, obviously, Connor is Amazement's teammate, Joe's teammate for this season as he flies back up into the lead. So he was going to do anything he could to try and help him out there. And unfortunately, we haven't judged that very well in the end there. Connor's actually going to come back out ahead of us in this race. Obviously, he's still going to make his pit stop between now and the end of the race there, but he is going to do everything within his power to try and hold us up and help Joe out in the next few laps of this race there. And I mean, with 8 laps to go here, 7 laps to go now, as we come towards the end of lap 18 there. The gap to Joe, well, was hovering at about 2,000 feet at the moment there. As you can see, through the final couple of corners of the lap, though, obviously we've got much fresher rubber than Connor just in front of us here. And it's time it doesn't make too big a difference in these cars, but it's certainly helpful to have there. As you can see, Connor go really, really defensive down the front straightaway here, and we only have one opportunity. We had to push him as defensive as possible, dart back to the outside as we head in towards turn 1 there, force him into an error, and that's exactly what we've done. And had he been able to hold on in front of us as we head down into the S's there, that could have really, really cost us a whole chunk of time in the second half of this race there. But we did get past him as soon as we possibly could there, so rather happy with that one. And now it is just a sprint to the checkered flag there. You see Connor dives into the pits, the end of that lap there, and you can see over these next few, the gap would just be coming down lap after lap here. Joe, he was still looking good though. The maths was still on his side as we head in towards the dying stages of this race there. 4 laps to go. The gap you can see was hovering at about 1,500 feet. 3 laps to go though. The gap was just coming down to about 1,200. It would drop just below 1,000 as we head in towards the first corner there. And as we head on towards the final lap then of this race here, could Joe take his very first race victory in the LCR IndyCar series? It might actually, if I'm not mistaken, be his first LCR victory in any series as well. I don't know if he's won a race back in the past on F1 as well there. You can see heading through the first couple of corners though, we're going to ride on board throughout the entirety of this final lap there. It was still looking good for him at the moment here, and I'll be honest, at this stage, I'm not someone that ever gives up in league racing. I just don't. There's no point in just giving up unless, of course, you know, there's a championship on the line you need just to get those points or something like that. You know, I like to think I race with my head as well there. But yeah, at the moment, though, I was very much in the position of we've got nothing to lose, so we're going to still go all out on the final lap of this race here. Because see, as we head out through the hairpin there, Joe, he's still got a good few hundred feet advantage there as we run ever so slightly wide at the hairpin, trying to push the car to the absolute limits, trying to find every single fraction of time that we possibly can here. Down the back straight for the final time in this race there. That gap's still hovering at about 700 feet there. And you can see Joe in the background saying that the gap is still good at the moment for himself. We've got one sector to go here from the Circuit of the Americas, but his tyres are surely about to fall off the cliff here. And when they hit the cliff on this game, they really, really do that. Everyone else in the party wanted to see Joe take this race victory as well here. 4 corners to go there. You can see he's starting to struggle just a little bit more on that rubber as we head through the Turkey S section for the final time in this racer. And through the penultimate corner, Joe really starting to struggle there. He runs massively wide. We have a look to the inside. He tries to slam the door shut on us, but we already have the nose there. And we do get up the inside in the final corner of the race there. A little bit of contact, not quite what either of us wanted in the end there, but we did sort of accept, you know, I had made it to the inside of him. There was a bit of contact, but he wasn't going to be able to get the power or the rotation through the final corner there. And we take it by less than a second at the end of the day there. 1 corner from the end of the race there. That is why you never give up in league racing there. And what an insane finish to that race. Like I said, we basically ran 24 qualifying laps for those points there. But it is our first flawless weekend then. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race victory there as well. But GG's to Joe. He did push us to the absolute limit over the course of tonight's race there. But yeah, that was yeah, one of the best Forza races I think I've genuinely ever had there. Never have I had to work so hard for a race victory on this game there. But yeah, what an insane race there. You can see we were clear of Apex by 40 seconds at the flag there. Connor comes through for 4th ahead of Ben and Joe there, with Jack, Aiden, Rydog and Liam rounding out the top 10
again.
as well there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, do make sure you get yourself subscribed. And we will be back very, very soon, ready for round 3, where we head to... I can't remember. Where do we go next? You'll find out. Long Beach. That's where we go for round 3 of the season. You guys do not want to miss it.